With over 1 billion people under the age of 25 across Central Asia and Eurasia, Kazakhstan is positioning itself as the region's higher education hub, modernizing universities, building global ties, and drawing in international students.
Welcome to East-West Connect. We're highlighting business and economic developments in Kazakhstan and the wider Central Asia region, connecting with Europe and beyond. Kazakhstan has been part of the European higher education area for 15 years. After joining the Bologna process in 2010, it began aligning its university standards with Europe, improving mobility, degree recognition, and quality. Now, with demand for higher education rising across Central Asia, Kazakhstan is accelerating transnational education by inviting global universities to open campuses on its soil. In the past 3 years alone, nearly 40 transnational education partnerships have been launched, including 5 university branch campuses. Western universities are already in active collaboration with Kazakhstani institutions, some with campuses open or underway. Leading the way are British universities, followed by major U.S. institutions. Kazakhstan plans to open 34 more foreign university branches by 2029, aiming to increase its international student body nearly fivefold, from 31,500 today to 150,000. Of the current foreign students, nearly 40% come from India, mostly in recognized medical programs. For the first time, Asian students outnumber those from the post-Soviet space. And in a striking reversal, more Russians are now studying in Kazakhstan than the other way around. To understand what's driving the shift, we spoke to the person leading the country's education transformation, Minister of Science and Higher Education, Sayasat Nurbek.
So we had very clear vision. One, bringing good big partnerships, and then try to attract as many foreign students as possible. Second, research is becoming huge on our agenda. A lot of these great universities now have access to critical minerals, for example. And so we are launching several joint research centers in critical minerals enrichment, and mining, and metallurgy.
How are international and domestic students supported in their entrepreneurship and deep tech development?
Every single university student in Kazakhstan will have to go for AI courses, get certificate. Out of 650,000 students, over 4,000 students already have certificates. Then we're launching a $100 million seed fund just to fund AI startups of these college students and faculty members. And then we're going to go through AI entrepreneurship module. And so every single student will have a possibility to become what we now call unicorns, a one-person billion-dollar company, a founder, with full support at every level, incubation, acceleration, and basic learning.
What results are you seeing in aligning graduates with the global labor market?
We'll have to wait for the first batch of graduates, and so far so good. We have Nazarbayev University, we have De Montfort University, and their graduates are really good quality. I mean, I would say they comply with any international demand. About 70% of these students, they go and hired by international companies, global companies, big four companies. Some of them pursue their academic careers in top universities, best Ivy League, best Russell Group, best research-intensive universities in the world for their master's programs, PhD programs. They stand up to any international standard given by large companies, Fortune 500 companies.
Well, Mr. Minister, it was such a pleasure having you on our program today. Thank you for carving out the time out of your busy schedule for us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Private companies are also stepping up with global partnerships. One local company is opening the doors to a new British university.
A British liberal arts university will open in Astana next September, bringing Western education closer to home. Offering degrees in business, AI, and education, it plans to grow from 100 to 400 students by 2029.
My plan is for it to set the new standards, especially in a commercially competitive field, where other big players will have to accept these rules and will have to improve their quality and will have to really care about their students and what kind of people their students will become.
Gabit Bekakhmetov says Kazakhstan's regional position and cultural diversity make it uniquely attractive for students seeking a cross-border education.
In combination with the Soviet fundamental science, with the Chinese advances in innovations, with the Western standards and expectations and ambitions, and all this, and some kind of oriental kindness and hospitality included in that, and combined with our nomadic dynamism, I think this is going to be a success recipe.
With more Western campuses opening, Gabit Bikakhmetov believes Kazakhstan is on course to become a globally competitive education model.
4 of Kazakhstan's top research universities have launched supercomputers with a combined capacity of 32 petaflops. That's 32 quadrillion calculations per second, powerful enough to train AI models, process vast databases, and run advanced scientific simulations. The country's flagship English language university is leading the way. Joining us in the studio is Nazarbayev University President Wakar Ahmad. Mr. Wakar, welcome and great to have you on.
Thank you for the invitation. I'm delighted to be here.
Can you tell us more about the types of fundamental and applied research your university plans to conduct with the supercomputer capabilities?
Prime example is the development of KazLM. And as we develop further, we would need even greater computing power in order to do that. If you think that the basic model which was developed, the KazLM, is largely text-based. So the KazLM was a basic model. We're now building on it. So there are new systems which focus on voice recognition. There are new tools which are using image processing and so on. And some of the new models which will be developed in this area are going to be all singing, all dancing models, which use text, which use sound, which use image, and so on.
Can you tell me how joint funds help reinforce Kazakhstan's standing as a regional academic and innovations hub?
We are developing new kinds of partnerships, but we're also looking at how we can use the money that we invest in research jointly. So let's say that if we are investing $1 million in research in a particular area, if we were to go into partnership with 2 other universities, and if they were to match our funding, we now have $3 million that we can bid for and they can bid for. But it also has the inbuilt advantage of collaborative research, which would be of higher quality. It would get published in more prestigious journals. More people will use it. It would enhance the reputation of the university and the reputation of the country. And it would also address fundamental questions which face, whether they face the economy, whether they relate to climate change, whether they relate to international relations, and so on.
Thanks so much for being with us today.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Bye for now, and join us in the next episode of East West Connect.